Hi, I'm Barry Farber, and this is Pain for Gain. What is pain for gain? Well, it's about making sacrifices today for future pleasure. And we're going to take a deep dive into what we eat, how we move, and what we think about all day long. Because that's the most important part about living a healthy life. Today we're joined by one of the world's leading voices in science-based health and longevity, Dr. Nicholas Perricone, a board-certified dermatologist, masters in nutrition, renowned educator, and an award-winning inventor. Dr. Perricone has reshaped our understanding of aging through his pioneering anti-inflammatory approach to wellness. I've never read anything or heard about anybody that had so much information on this subject. He's inspired millions of people with his best-selling books, The Wrinkle Cure, The Perricone Prescription, The Perricone Promise, Forever Young, and his newest work, which I just love, The Beauty Molecule. With 237 patents worldwide and honors including the Eli Whitney Award, he has held academic positions at Yale and Michigan State University and founded the influential skincare and supplement brand Perricone MD. His expertise has been featured in major media, including interviews with Oprah Winfrey and Diane Sawyer. Dr. Perricone is a true visionary in healthy aging and one of the most respected names in modern dermatology and nutritional science. So good to have you again for another show, another episode.
Great. Enjoying it. Thank you.
We're going to go crazy here, okay?
I'm
going to start out with something, two different subjects, and maybe they're both the same, but I was at dinner with, we were 20 guys, we're out to eat at a steakhouse, and they're all having steak, and I'm having cauliflower steak and a salad. And then all of a sudden, a gentleman across the table goes, "Hey, Farber." He goes, "Aren't you going to be lonely?" And I go, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Yeah, when everybody else is gone and you're still around." You're just cracking me up, busting on me for having a salad. And for medical reasons and stuff like that, I decided there's a little pain, a little suffering, you have some sacrifice. But I learned, because of this pain for gain, because we sometimes just want pleasure first, we want a pill, we want instant gratification in the way the world works now, people aren't willing to take a little sacrifice in the beginning. So in martial arts, which I love and I've been studying for many years, I remember we have these rings, they're metal rings, 2.5-pound rings, right, that you put on your arm. And you put on your arm so you have your hands free to hold a weapon that you can move around with in different motions, so all the little muscles can be worked on. And what happened is these rings kept hitting my arm. And I fell back once in a pouring rainstorm because I was on the stairs with a hydroplane. I slipped back with the weapon, with everything, and landed, and I slapped out like you do in jiu-jitsu. When I slapped out, in my mind, when you're in an accident, you think of, I'm going to the hospital, I'm going to get operated, I have broken bone, hip, this, and nothing happened. And I realized what happened is I started researching about the skin, and those microscopic tears in the muscle fibers after a long period of time repair themselves and become more resilient, to the point where I'm hitting rice and pebbles. And so if I would like you to take your water off for this demonstration, so if I hit that, or I won't break the table, I promise. Boom, I can hit it 100 times and nothing happens to my knuckles. I don't feel, because if you do it over and over, there's a saying, by the mile it's a trial, by the yard it's hard, but by the inch it's a cinch. When we break things down over time and do it all the time, continuously, that doesn't matter if it's hitting a table, if it's eating a certain way, if it's working out, if it's how we little things over time build a foundation. So I want you to talk about that. I want you to explain to me about things we can do to, over time, that cause that resilience and that repair through your medicine and your science.
Well, what you're talking about is something extremely important, and movement is important. So the body is interesting in that it's not stagnant. So the more we use things, the better we get at it. And so I'm interested in just healthy aging, and everybody.
And how old are you?
77.
77. I knew that before you said that, but I want to check. 77 years. I could have swore 66, 62. That's amazing. So you're a living proof.
So we want to make sure. Look, life is a wonderful thing. And so we want to extend it. Because what's the good if you have 10 years of essentially misery at the end? It shouldn't be that way.
Right.
So we want healthy aging, and this is what it's about. You're moving your body in many ways because you have this wonderful interest in martial arts. Other taking a walk, and a 20-minute walk is quite adequate. And they just did a study looking at longer distances, no benefits, okay? So
From 20 minutes on, there's no benefit. 20 minutes is the ultimate.
No, you want to do 2 hours, go ahead, but you're not going to get any more benefits than 20 minutes. So everything is moderate, and the body's great. It just knows how to repair itself. So movement is important. Obviously, we talked about the anti-inflammatory diet, proper nutrients. And then, of course, the other thing is mind-body. And so I talk about in my book doing things for mind-body. And so things you enjoy, if you have a hobby and it really gives you pleasure, I mean, that's part of the mind-body thing. I really like meditation, and I don't have a huge amount of discipline, but it doesn't, 15 or 20 minutes is all you need.
Yep.
And so
Once a day?
Once a day, yeah. No, I have my brother does it twice a day. He actually looks a lot better than I do, but I don't have the time. So, and this whole concept is this: we have all of these things. They're not huge in terms of amount of time we have to invest. It's not a lot of money. It's just simple foods and doing what you're doing. And the really thing too is human relationships. You have to have people around you that you care about. Friends are extremely important. Family's important.
Socialization, right.
It is very important as part of this whole thing of healthy aging. People who are isolated don't do well as they get older.
Interesting. You know, I see so much information, again, an overload of information that we're so confused with that we, some of these people might have 5 million followers but have no scientific background or telling you to do this and that. And I just feel like we need simple answers like this in your background. Talk to me about green tea, about other things that help inflammation as we get older.
Okay, so I love talking about I love talking about green tea, and so I was thinking about, in addition to the skincare, which was anti-inflammatory, I had supplements as well, and I wanted to introduce green tea because I just love it and it had so many benefits. So I was in San Francisco. I went to a tea house, and a young man, he just graduated Harvard. He was taking over the whole business. We sat for 6 hours tasting tea.
Different types of green teas?
And I found the one I love. It's a jasmine. It's real jasmine.
Yeah, I've had that.
It's green
It's good.
tea. And these polyphenols, which are anti-inflammatory. And I have it every day. It's just so wonderful. It starts the day. I mean, you get a lift. There's some caffeine there, but it is so protective. So if people can just get into green tea, and a lot of green tea doesn't taste good. It should taste good. And then you can sweeten it a little bit. And I found that there's this amino acid called glycine. It's one of the tiny ones.
Right.
And it's very sweet if you put it in it. So you put this in, and you're getting these very essential amino acids at the same time. And then I put a little coconut oil in it because I want those fatty acids too. And it is amazing. Every morning, I've been doing this for like 25 years.
That's awesome.
So green tea, black tea, many things we can
All
do.
that, and the way we eat food, some foods together have much more benefits than alone. Is that true?
Oh, yes, synergy. I mean, whatever, and they work together, and that's why eating whole foods is so important. All these things we don't even know about. We've just scratched the surface in nutrition, really.
Talk about the beauty molecule.
Okay.
And
So the beauty molecule is a molecule. It's called acetylcholine. You don't have to learn the name. It's kind of long, but it's very important in our body. So acetylcholine helps us form memories in the brain. When we want to move a muscle, we send an electrical signal, and then and they call it the presynapse releases acetylcholine. It locks on the muscles, they contract. And so acetylcholine is in the body. It's also an anti-inflammatory. It's important for our immune system. And when we meditate, we secrete acetylcholine. So there's one study I saw where they were looking at acetylcholine and its effect on mitochondria. Now, mitochondria are those little energy parts in our cell, and they're critical, and they go down as we get older. Well, if you meditate, you secrete acetylcholine, you're repairing your mitochondria while you're meditating.
Really? And there's a whole piece on meditation and fasting and grounding, and I've never seen a book comprehensive as yours. Seriously, I'm not kidding. I've read every health book practically. The China study I mean, it's just out of control of what you put in this book, The Beauty Molecule. I really am amazed. Talk about grounding, because I think when I am outside and I'm grounding, and I've learned about, maybe a year I've been doing it, and I have these grounding shoes, and I explain it to people because they're really light, and I try and explain about the electrons and everything, but you can probably share with people with that.
Okay. So basically, if you're grounding, the real ground, not on a floor like this,
Right.
There's a lot of electrons there, and if you have your socks off, you take those electrons act as anti-inflammatories. They get into the body. And so it's very, very healthy to do so. And we know that because people who take care of animals, cows, horses, they know that if they're out there in the field, it's helping them heal. And it's very, very healthy. We just can't do it. We live in a society, you're in New York City. I mean,
Right.
you're going to go grounding? I don't think so.
We go from the house to the garage to the office, and we're never outside anymore. And I mean, our feet used to look like this, right? They were webbed until we stuck them in shoes, and we sit there and we don't even. It's amazing the difference. I just think more people need to. It's like meditation came out 10 years ago, and I'm like, what is this stuff in the West Coast? Some weird stuff. And now I'm like, I cannot believe how it settles you and gets you focused. And what happens with meditation, if you could explain this, because it's not just what we eat, how we move, but how we think. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'm breathing because you're focused on the breathing for, and then you disappear. You're like, you don't even know where you're just not thinking of anything. And then all of a sudden your brain's flooded with ideas. What's going on there? What's happening?
Well, it's a reset. So acetylcholine, the beauty molecule, is very important to central nervous system. But what's interesting, when you're doing your meditation, you start secreting acetylcholine not just centrally, but peripherally. And we now know that acetylcholine, when it gets to the mitochondria, which is critical, it's our little energy, it repairs the mitochondria. I mean, I couldn't believe this stuff when I was doing the research. I said, this is so simple. And people I look at who are meditating, and they're doing it, and I spend a huge time. I look at my brother, he's an interesting guy. He does it twice a day.
How old's your brother?
He is 75,
75.
2 years difference. And he's looked so much younger. He's been doing it for 10 years now. And he's not an exercise type guy. He's in the clergy, so he's very regimented, and he's got his thing. But he does this meditation twice a day. And he tells me, he said, you know what, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for meditation.
Really?
Because he's not an exerciser.
It's amazing. Things that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for gout. Gout was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't trade it. It did. It woke me up. It made me realize we need to study our own body, what goes on, learn about it. We should be our own doctors, not just going to somebody and saying they know everything. I find that amazing, and I think more people are doing that.
Yeah, there's so much can be done.
What else do you want to talk about? You know what, I always ask this question on every show, and I'm just curious. After all these years of science and masters in nutrition and Yale and Michigan State and your education, what's your definition of success today?
I think the definition of success is really simple. It is we have a certain amount of lifespan. And what we want to do is we want to enjoy that particular time, and the only way you can do that is you have to take care of the machine. Okay, the machine, the brain,
right.
and then,
Got one
and then
body.
See, my philosophy is this: every one of us and everybody watching this program, anywhere I've met, everybody has basically and they know this. Everybody knows this. You have a mission. You knew what it was. I could ask you. I can ask anybody here, and you just ask them. They start thinking about. As a matter of fact, yes, I do. And to achieve that mission, you've got to have a body that's going to work, a brain. You've got to take care of yourself, and you have to help other people. That's so important. Okay, as our mission.
Say that again. Help other people.
Help other people. So I want people to think about, and I'd love to just do a little interview with staff here. What do you think your mission is? And they start thinking, but I do have it, and they'll come out with what it is. We all have a mission. Fulfill the mission, you have to have a healthy body, a healthy brain, and very important, you need to help other people. That's what we're here for.
That's an amazing definition of success, one of the best I've heard. And everybody wants a magic bullet, a magic pill for success, but I think we found a magic bullet in hydrogen water. You know why? We're going to find out when we come back. No side effects, anti-inflammatory. He's going to explain everything, and maybe even for your pets. Be right back.
In the world of beauty and health, few names have dominated the industry. Dr. Nicholas Perricone. Award-winning inventor, world-renowned healthy aging expert, board-certified dermatologist, certified nutrition specialist, and master of the American College of Nutrition, holding over 100 U.S. and international patents. A household name, Dr. Perricone pioneered the concept of the physician-based brand with Perricone MD, offering targeted nutritional supplements and powerful clinical skincare formulations to treat the underlying causes of aging. Based in sound science, Dr. Perricone is proud to introduce Dr. Perricone Hydrogen Water. Studies suggest that molecular hydrogen confers multiple benefits, including increased production of energy at the cellular level and protection from free radicals, leading to anti-aging benefits and aiding in muscle recovery. Dr. Perricone Hydrogen Water is crafted with the impeccable standard of quality that is associated with the Perricone name. Formulated with a higher concentration of molecular hydrogen than other brands, Dr. Perricone Hydrogen Water offers a therapeutic level of hydrogen in each can. Dr. Perricone quote, "In over 30 years of research into healthy aging, nothing has excited me more than the discovery of the efficacy and antioxidant power of hydrogen."
This is not water. This is hydrogen water and has all these positive effects. You drink it and you will feel energized, your mind will get clear, but it's doing wonderful things for us on a cellular level.
Hi, I'm Barry Farber, and I'm so excited to bring you the new special edition hardcover copy of The Adventures of Little Billy in Search of the Magic Tree. Scan the code below and learn more about that adventure. Welcome back. I'm Barry Farber, and this is Pain for Gain. We have Dr. Nicholas Perricone, the author of The Beauty Molecule, a book that I totally endorse. I read it front to back with a lot of notes. And you know what I want to do? I want to explore this. I want to explore hydrogen water because I've been looking for a magic bullet. I've been looking for something that has no side effects, that has so many benefits. And you know, sometimes that's eating right, moving right, thinking right. But here's something interesting. I'd like you to explain to the audience, first in a scientific way, of what this actually is, where it came from, how you came about creating this for people to really help them in their life.
Okay. Well, what happened with me was everything I did was so successful, and it was all about inflammation and antioxidants. And I said, I'd love to find what I call the magic bullet. It would be one substance that is not expensive, readily available, non-toxic, and give it out to people. This would be my donut. Mm-hmm. And I came across this about 10 years ago in this very prestigious journal called Nature Medicine. And I read about it, and I was kind of skeptical, really. I thought, hydrogen is a nonpolar molecule. Why would it interact? And I forgot a lot of basic science. Mm-hmm. There's things called hydrogenases that break it down. I was wrong about everything. And this is big in Japan. So I went there and I talked to the scientists.
You went to Tokyo, Japan to see this?
Yep, talked to the scientists, looked at the data, and then came back and started looking at the science. There's a lot of good papers out there now. And it really is a very healthy thing to do on a daily basis because it acts as an antioxidant. And it's an electron donor. And electrons are our friends. Okay, that's why we do things like grounding, and we eat the right foods that are rich in colors, and they're donators of electrons. So this is the magic bullet.
Donators of electrons. Explain that, just so people.
So certain things that you can take in your body, they're electron rich, and then they turn it over to your body, and your body uses it to protect the cells, because the cells, there's constant metabolism going on, and when you're making energy, you produce something called free radicals. It's normal. And then those free radicals need to be maintained by our antioxidant system that we have in our body. So this is the help that we need.
And how does it do that? What's the scientific way that you drink this, and what happens to the body? Can you explain that?
Okay, so you drink this, and we have these enzymes called dehydrogenases. And so you have, this is H2. So that's it's called molecular hydrogen. So hydrogen, atomic hydrogen doesn't exist on this planet. It exists maybe in deep space, but it's so reactive they come together. So you're only going to get H2, but when you drink it, your body can then break it down to atomic hydrogen, and that's what gives us all of the energy.
It breaks it down. So what do you think about, should people do? So I have this twice a day, let's say, morning and night, right? You open it up and you say to drink it within 20 minutes, right? And can you have it cold too? You can have it cold.
Oh yeah, it's great cold and it's great warm.
Just keep it in a dark, cool place,
yeah,
right?
I have a little fridge in my bedroom as I crawl out of my bed and don't even stand, crawl over the thing and just take the hydrogen water because
First thing.
I mean, suffering from brain fog and all the rest, and you just want to get going. You drink it down and it's like almost instantaneous.
Sometimes coffee, now I know green tea is valuable, but coffee sometimes breaks me. So tell me what is happening in the morning when you take this? What's going on? What are the benefits?
Okay. What's going to happen, and I'd like to just tell how it makes me feel. Within a few minutes, you start getting mental clarity. Everybody has a little brain fog in the morning, especially when you get to be my age. drink it down, and it's almost instantaneous.
Why? What's happening?
Well, what's happening is because it's an antioxidant, what it does, it reduces inflammation, especially in the central nervous system. So by the time you drink this, within a matter of 2 minutes, it's just in every cell in your body. That's how rapid it is.
And what's it doing in every cell in your body?
Well, it's acting a donor. It's acting as a donor, electron donor. And electrons are good for us, and they turn off inflammation, and they give us energy. And and even in our mitochondria, you have this little Krebs cycle. It's going like this. It's all basically this because it increases something called NAD. So people are
What
reading
is
about
NAD?
NAD is this molecule that's supposed to be for anti-aging. It's very powerful, and it helps. It's in our mitochondria, and so they're selling a lot of chemicals now. Precursors of NAD. 2.5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
So it is a magic bullet. I never thought I'd say that because I'm like against any instant gratification because we're sold things, this will take care of this, and that. What happens is later in life you have, pain, gain, or pleasure, and then you have pain later because there's some side effects. And tell me about the studies with this and why you feel so strongly about it.
When I initially had all of this information coming in, there was just a lot of animal studies, but very few human studies. So I went out there and talked to the scientists, and they just started some studies. And then one study they did, and this is really profound. There's a disease called metabolic syndrome. And metabolic syndrome is a cluster of findings, both on physical exam and if I gave you laboratory studies. And if we look at this together, so you have like a little obesity, abdominal obesity on physical exam and a few other things, and then we look at blood work. And if you have metabolic syndrome, all Western diseases are downstream, everything. Heart disease, kidney disease, cognitive decline, like diabetes, they're all. So if you have metabolic syndrome, the doctor is going to say you've got to go exercise and you've got to go on a diet. Well, that doesn't work for most people. So
Or they recommend a pill.
Or a pill. So a good friend of mine who's head of the Foundation of Hydrogen Water, he did a study in India, and it was small. It was 50 people with metabolic syndrome, and they broke it into 2 groups, and 50 people would be getting hydrogen water, 50 people regular water, and they were told, look, don't change anything. Don't exercise if you're not. Don't change your diet. And people who have metabolic syndrome are not exercising, and they have lousy diets. They just gave it to them. And when they broke the code after 4 months,
50 people.
so 100 people, and the 50 people that, when they broke the code, no longer had metabolic syndrome. That means all Western diseases could be cut down enormously. So if the nation is drinking this water, and I'd say within 3 to 5 years we can drop our healthcare costs by 1/3, just drinking the water.
See, that's amazing to me. This needs to get out to a lot of people then.
I mean, metabolic syndrome is serious, and a lot of people have it. And you're not going to, you're not going to exercise. You're not going to watch your diet, but you can do this. These guys did it in India. All they had to do is drink the water.
But you still recommend exercise, and obviously
Absolutely.
it'll just impact it even greater, right?
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
What about, we have 5 minutes left. I would like to say that not only, I feel like a commercial here, but I got to tell you, after reading your book, if you told me dinosaurs are coming back, I'd believe you. I'm telling you, you had so much practical information that I've read it so long that I finally read your book and I said, it confirms everything. It's not like there's a lot of really basic, practical, simple steps in there. But I drink this, and I feel like I'm drinking air. It's so clean and like there's no taste. That's what I always want my water to be. When you go to a restaurant, you get water. I never have because they pour it in. I'm tasting soap. It never tastes like. It shouldn't have any taste, right? It should be.
Exactly.
Why is that? Is that part of the? Why does it have no taste?
Well, we're using a pure source of water, of course. And
Where's the water coming from?
Well, we are using artesian well.
Artesian well.
But you don't have to do that. You can, most of the water is just basically reverse osmosis of city water.
Right.
So it's clean water. Put the hydrogen, you get all the benefits. And so I'm just so high on this because it's just so easy to do. And everything about me is I like to work out, but my life consists of studying science and doing research. And you drink this within 5 or 10 minutes, you get clarity.
So I want to jump ahead here now. See, there's some animals in Little Billy, okay? This is for you. Little Billy is the mascot for the Tamerlane Animal Sanctuary, which saves these animals from everything. I mean, just an amazing effort they do. And you said something to me that this you can actually make for pets. Tell me how that would work. What is the application? And
Well, when I was in Japan, because it's been there for 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. And they came up with hydrogen water for pets because there's a lot of data showing that it extends the life and keeps them healthier. And so you can get hydrogen water for pets in Japan. And I'm thinking about having my company come up with hydrogen water for pets as well.
I love it because I got 2 dogs that would. Now, how would you give that? Well, you don't know. Yeah.
The way to do it is this. Obviously,
It's not this water?
it's exactly this water. You can put this in your, but you have to open the can, put it in their bowl. You have to make sure they're thirsty.
Right.
Because they have
So-
to do it within a couple of minutes, otherwise
Right.
the hydrogen's gone.
Right.
So first thing in the morning, dog's always thirsty. Or you can take them for a walk first.
Right, when they come back.
Come
they do.
back and then you give them the water. And if you do that twice a day, it's going to make a huge difference in their lives, extend their lives and make
That's
them healthier.
awesome. That's awesome. All right, so what else could you tell me before we have a few minutes left, and I'm a big fan now of everything you do. I think people should really,
Okay, well,
look
this book was written, this is book number 10. And I realized that the first book, which was called The Wrinkle Cure, had a lot of information, but there's a whole new generation out there. They don't know anything about that. So I wanted to review everything I've done, and I got it into that book.
And again, like I said, I'm living, you walk the talk. That's what I like, okay? You live and breathe what you do. I think that says a lot for you. I think I have a new fan here. I'm gonna be with this for a long time. I'm gonna test it out. And the thing that gets me is that you can read everything you want, you can listen to doctors, but until you live it and breathe it every day, it really doesn't sink in. And that's what I really appreciate about you, that you know, everything in there you're doing, the meditation, the breathing, the grounding, the foods you eat, the multicolor vegetables, the fruits, I always, my thing is I have wild salmon once in a while and eggs. Otherwise I'd be a vegan. And my son says to me, he goes, Dad, don't go out with people at dinner and say, why are you eating that? You should have just say, eat more greens. Don't tell them not to eat meat, just say, eat more greens. So I really appreciate what you bring to the table here and educating people. How can people get in touch with you? And we'll put up something so people see where your website is and so forth, but I think they'd have a lot of questions.
Yeah, they could go to the website for Perricone MD or Dr. Perricone.
Dr.
And-
Perricone or Perricone MD.
Yeah, and to learn about different things we're doing. And once again, it all comes down to that. I think this book is a great way to start.
Yep.
And I can't believe it's book number 10, but
Well,
I
congratulations.
did have to go through the whole thing because this is a whole new generation.
Yep, it's awesome. Hey, I really appreciate it. You made a long trip here. I appreciate it. I know you had traffic and everything. And I want to tell you, this book is one of my favorites. I want to thank you for coming on the show and spending the time with me and educating people on things that are extremely important in life.
Well,
how we eat,
yeah.
how we move, how we think, and you hit it right on the button.
And thank you for inviting me and getting the word out.
Yep, I love talking to you. This is Barry Farber on Pain for Gain. I'll see you next time, okay? Go out and have some pain. I'm just kidding.